on Zoom?
No. But if somebody else, everyone could kind of keep their eye on the screen.
Will it pop up?
Yes, you'll see something across the top.
Okay. So what we're going to start with then is the minutes from the last meeting. They were distributed by Sarah this past weekend, or this past week. Did anybody have any corrections, any additions to the minutes? If the minutes look fine, if I could have a motion to accept the minutes.
I make a motion.
Sue, and
I'll second it.
seconded by Lynn. All in favor say aye. Okay. The next thing we have on the agenda is the resolution to correct the terms of the trustees. I'm going to read you our bylaws, and what they say is terms of office of the trustees shall be a period of 5 years, which shall begin immediately upon election. 2 trustees shall be elected each year, except the 5th year where there's only 1, and that's the 9 people that are in the group. Somehow we got a little out of order, and we had elected 4 people this time to do the 4 openings that we had. But Joan is willing to take a shorter term so that we get back on that sequence of 2, 2, 2, 2, and 1. So she's agreed to do that, and she will be ending her term on 2028. So in order to fix that, I need to make a resolution to shorten Joan Peebles' rotation or term to end 2028, which will correct the terms to having 2 trustees that will end their term each of the next 4 years, and then 1 year exception, 2027, where my term will expire. So that's the resolution. So all those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Okay, so moved. So we need to make sure that from now on the agenda and the minutes have Joan's year corrected to 2020.
Thank you. And that corrects the mistake that was made prior to the change. Correct. We're not sure where the mistake actually happened.
Yes. Yeah, might have been from a year or 2 ago. All right, so we are on our treasurer's report.
Okay. I think we're going to split. I don't know. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Well, this is the treasurer's report, and this is the time of year where things kind of slowly move along. There's just our normal expenses that go on. The only good thing, and I'm glad that you're here, because we received the first installment from the town of Bolton to support the library.
Yes.
So that was $42,500. We asked for $85,000, and the town board did approve it. The next payment from the town will come in July. In light of that, this time of year, once we get the money from the town, I kind of look at what we spent last year from now until the end of July, which is when the next check will come in, and how much money was that? So last year it was almost $41,000, which were our normal expenses, and we didn't have any construction going on, so this was just our normal operating expenses, our books, our lights, our heating, and payroll, which is the biggest amount that we have to pay out on a monthly basis. So I increased that by like 5%. Our budget only increased by 3% to cover any contingency. So it would be around $43,000 that we need. Presently, there's over $73,000 in the checking account, which is our operating account. So we are in good shape to get us through the payment infusion of cash. In the next couple of months that we've got coming up, we may get money from the FIM program. We won't know about that from King Bank. And then there's the Warren County aid that we would get, and that we never know what that is until we get it. And then there's a local aid fund that we get. Generally, it's run anywhere from $3,000 to $6,000, but that depends on what the Warren County supervisors team of your program is, along with a couple of other it seems like we're doing a good job of keeping to our budget at this point, but it's only 2 months, so it's kind of hard to tell. Things could go crazy. Yeah, exactly. I know it's always weird because we're like a month behind, and so it's like we're looking at February finances and we're already halfway through March. But we got a $500 contribution to our appeal letter, so that put us over $25,000, which is the most we've gotten in quite a while. From now until tax time, some other things may trickle in, so I think that put us in a good stead. Comment, starting on the appeal letter in August and September to get it together, and I would say we could even mail it even earlier than their birthday to just kind of get it out there, because the people that are supporting the library seem to be looking for that and ready for it and ready to write a check.
And if we have to make donations actually before the letter goes out.
Correct, that always seems to be an application. Yes.
First, in first, maybe.
You know, it's interesting. People are pretty consistent about, you know, what they give and what they allocate. But it's nice to see that, and the numbers. I think we're going to say we're at 257. The number of people dropped a little bit. Partly, I think, is because the nature of the community has changed a little bit, but it's also they tend to be giving a little bit more money. So these are people that are really coming out to support the library, which is really nice to see.
I could have to put out the letter before the Floridians leave.
Well, it goes to property owners, you know, and then
So it gets
to them anyway. Although it's interesting because this year they went out first class, and I have a stack that I do want when Terry comes. I want to give back to her because they will all return because they didn't have the right address on it. And these are addresses that we got from the county for the real property people. So, you know, I don't know where their stuff goes as far as that's concerned. So that was very telling because when it had gone out just standard mail, we didn't know what didn't get to somebody. So this will be an interesting way to look at who's worth, because it costs more money, but it's worth just looking at who actually didn't get it. And there are some people that may not get it, but just give us one anyway, because we do try to keep track of people that are not necessarily property owners, but live in town. So we do augment that list that we get from our county to include those names as well.
If you bring them in and let me see them,
I will.
when somebody gets a library card here, we have to list the address that's on their driver's license. That goes first, and then their vacation address. So they might be someone who got a card recently, so we could definitely check that before.
Okay, no, I'll give it to you that way you can check. Although it's interesting because every year it looks a little bit different, but the number of LLCs has grown considerably, because it used to just be like a half a page of LLCs, because they just go by like the street address, and then you start with people's last names. So I mean, now we've got a couple pages worth. So I think since COVID, a lot of that has changed.
Do you think if Terry takes them back to the county will do anything to update their list, or?
I'll give it. I don't know. I
Continue.
was going to show them to her and say, these are all got returned. I don't know why things get returned to you.
Well, the county does it for tax purposes. They have an updated list.
Well, that's who we got it from.
That's who
That's
we
who we
got
got it from.
They should update their list. What I'm saying is there might be a list that they turn out every year, and the list is up to date for tax purposes. They just haven't transposed it yet.
That would be a Terry question. She said that she don't have it. And just, Aaron has been working in QuickBooks and with the budget piece too. So we're going to meet tomorrow again to work on transitioning more of this. So,
And they pretty much send you a report about what they've been transitioning before. They've been doing a terrific job. I mean, I always say, yay, good job, because both of them.
Yes, Michelle.
No. This is like, it really hand off person.
So both of you for doing that. Really appreciate it. So that, is that anything else you wanna add before I go on to the director's report?
No, if everybody was comfortable with the treasurer's report that she sent out regarding the 2 additional expenses that we had, and then, she already did on the monthly increment. No questions.
All right, then we're going to go on to the director's report.
Do you want to make a motion to accept that?
I don't think we do for treasurer.
It just get, it's notated that it gets accepted into the minutes, but the board does not vote to approve.
There was a slight increase in circulation last month by 1. I kind of wanted to go back and see if I could figure out that would be that. But that was good. Also, the internet use is holding steady. I think that I always like to see what that. There's one of these odd days where they'll tell you that it was 1,040% higher that day than any other Sunday. Wonder what that means.
Somebody out in the parking lot downloading, $3.
Could
I
be.
don't know. Because it was on a Sunday, so we weren't even
Yes.
open.
Right. So it
So
definitely
it's
would be
like-
outside.
Yeah, it's bizarre. I think so.
We also registered 7 new people, which I think is great. That this year, actually this past month, we had a number of, and it's something that I want to look into. They were students that were here from Peru, and they had just heard about the library. And then, so they came in, they all got cards, and then they were leaving, going home. So yesterday, or the day before, 2 girls came in, and they were from Peru, and they said they had just heard about it. So I want to talk to someone over at the hotel, the right person, so that they can let these new kids that are coming in
To work the J.
that the library's here, there's a computer, there's wireless, that kind of stuff. And I love meeting them. In fact, when these 2 girls they would have their passports, like after I did all of the work, I said, I just have to say something to you. You need to put those in a safe place. I don't think you should be carrying these around. The only reason they have it is because they've gone to the bank and they did need it for there. But I said, I'm not sure what the climate is right now in our country, so I really need you guys to be safe, so make sure you take good care of your passport. And they were aware, so, and they've all loved signing up all too, which I think is great. In February, we added a bunch of new books, and we continue to add. All of our events are marked on here. These are the past events. I meant to put in the upcoming ones as well. Next week, there is one with Painting with Patrice, which will be at the 29th,
27th.
and Lindsay, you guys, any of you should sign up. They're really fun and paintings come out great. I am constantly surprised. Stop. And Mary Chigarelli has done this display, which is to celebrate Dr. Seuss's birthday, and it's just really special and really fun. Kids are loving it. I find it fascinating because Dr. Seuss books still go out. When I first started here, I got rid of them all because I thought they were terrible. I hated to read them to kids. Have you ever tried to read Dr. Seuss?
Yes.
They're horrible to read.
I like to read them fast.
So we did have to replace them all. The ones that I got rid of were falling apart.
Prejudice against them.
So that's it.
Okay, could I have a motion to accept the director's report? Mary will motion and Sue will second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? So moved. We're on to the committee reports.
Sarah.
Oh, Sarah, social media, forgot the second half.
We have a little bit with the grants. We did receive a Stewart's Holiday Match Grant of $750. We've requested $1,500. This was the same amount we received last year. We asked for $1,500 last year and received $750. We also received the LARAT grant for the third year in a row. This will be done in September and October, and it's going to be Winter Birds. It's a series of 3 nights of Paint with Patrice, and it will be free for the participants. And we also, to enhance that, we worked with the Adirondack Audubon Society. So they're going to be doing a presentation. So that whole time frame will just be all about winter birds. So we'll see what else we can add in as well. And that was worth just over $1,000.
Do we have dates for those yet?
We do, they're in September and October.
Okay,
Yep, I've got them on the calendar up here.
okay.
We did get denied all 3 ALA grants we had put in. We'd asked for round 3 of the accessibility grant for another $20,000. We were denied that, but that's the grant that the previous 2 years, we got $10,000 a year to do the sidewalk upgrade and revamp to meet all the ADA requirements. We did not get the Peggy Barber grant for senior isolation in the community, or the new one for Friends of the Library and Penguin Random House. But they had over 300 libraries applying for 50 grants. So I think we're tapped out on ALA for a little while because we got $20,000 from them. Yes.
Is that, we did get the LARAT grant.
Yes.
They said that they approved it.
Well, it's going through a 10-day review period, but I think that ended yesterday. So unless they have a complete contesting of what they decided, they did that the last 2 years as well. And then they'll send the checks out after that.
Okay, because I know at one point they were gonna sit, the first year they sent the check after it was completed, and that was.
And the contract signed.
Springtime.
Yeah, Alyssa did send a letter officially saying, congratulations, you were chosen to receive this grant.
Okay.
And after the 10-day administrative period, and they leave it open for anyone to
So we would
contest.
get the check prior to it actually happening,
Oh, yes, before the event.
before the event.
Yes, we'll get it before September. Yeah, we have to sign that 30-page contract again, I'm sure, and then they cut it.
All right, thank you.
And just to go back a little bit in the Brendan note, what we did with that $10,000 grant is made sidewalks accessible for strollers and wheelchairs, because the sidewalk was curved and it didn't go all the way to our ramp.
And steep.
And steep.
And Steve,
So
Yep.
we got that all leveled out, so now everybody can come in the back door. What we're trying to get is enough to be able to get a handicap door, so that they'll be able to hit a bar, open the door, so they won't have to rely on somebody to be able to open and close
Yeah.
the door. And also to get a lighter door for a bathroom, so they can get in the upper bathroom.
we'd like to get both doors to be hands-free, because we have people with assistive devices or any kind of limitations using the ramp, and we get a lot of compliments on it for accessibility, but they come to the door, they have to get a storm door open, hold it, and then they've got to open the interior door. And the bathroom door is extremely heavy. We have a warning sign on it. We're worried about the kids. It's a beautiful solid wood door, but it's very heavy. So anyone using an assistive device or juggling kids and kid things, it's very hard to maneuver. So that's why we tried to get that.
Teaches our painting classes, Patrice, she uses the ramp because she's in a wheelchair.
Oh.
So that was one of the reasons we really thought,
I watched her go down the sidewalk before we had it done, and it was just steep enough that I was worried about her, like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
you know,
Yes.
so,
no rumble strips at
and
the
then
bottom or
she would
anything.
also, because when it was put in, we just assumed people would wheel out to the town sidewalk and then come up the ramp that way, but that's really difficult. So she was crossing the grass.
Yeah, we didn't have that connector there
So now
before
the way it's done, it looks really well.
looks great.
But I also think according to the
Very
ADA,
functional.
you're not supposed to have 2 doors. And they open in opposite directions.
You mean the storm door?
Storm door
Or are you
and
talking about here or there?
Here,
the
for the
back
ramp
door. So I
accessibility.
believe for the handicap accessibility, you're not supposed to have 2 doors. And neither door is easy. You know, it's not even the bar that it would be. So
But we'll keep trying with other grants
Uh-huh.
and stuff like that, because we did get a quote, right, to fix
Yes.
this, it'll be about $20,000.
Yep, and we are looking at the NICEAD grant, New York State Education Department. They're the ones we've gotten fairly large grants with in the past that covered the generator and several other repairs. But right now I'm waiting to find out if if they're gonna be doing that in the near future. I don't know where the money comes from, so.
And just so you know too, we got that generator so that we can keep our lights on and heat here in case anybody in the community, doesn't have it come in. Okay, so we're all caught up there. And so if I could have that motion, Mary made the motion, I guess, and Sue seconded. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Okay, on to the committee reports. We have nothing from the executive, and under financial, we are looking for an additional member on our finance team. So I may be approaching you if you don't rush out afterwards. I'm gonna find somebody else. So I'm gonna stick my arms out like this. Yes. But anyway, so was there anything you wanted to add to committee report other than what we already talked about, or did we cover everything?
No, I think we covered
Yes.
everything, just in the additional member of the finance committee that she's looking for, you really don't need any experience with accounting or finance. What we're looking at for is just somebody to be a backup, for example, when I traveling out of town business. So this would include assistance with, scanning any bills that come in and sending them to me electronically, so I can take a look at them, correctly in the system, doing, monitoring cash flow, depositing checks at the bank. So it's really just administrative functions. You don't necessarily need to know finance or accounting.
Is that something that Sarah and I can do?
It may also be a combination of that as well, right? But we will actually be a backup.
Yeah, we would definitely be working with you on, this person would be working with you guys on that. So, okay, so
Maybe
we,
started to say,
oh, go ahead. Oh,
If you tell me what to do, I can do it.
Oh.
Yes. Follow directions. I do have a scanner, so.
okay, oh, good, that would be great, that would be great.
Also, you don't just use the Genius scan on your phone.
Yeah.
I have an HP one, is that the same thing, you take a picture and you send it like a
Yes,
scan?
That's how I do all
Scan
my.
it.
Yeah.
You're very welcome to have your assistance.
Yes,
And again,
that'd
it's
be great, thank you.
administrative tasks.
All right, so add her onto that. Next, policies and procedures, we are all caught up with those, except are the new ones in the book yet?
Yes.
Filed? It's,
they're in the book. The book is numbered, but I have not yet figured out how to do the table of contents.
okay. So we'll,
And so Sarah and I are actually going to work on it together.
okay, great.
Is it in Word?
Yes.
I can help you with the table of contents.
Yay.
I can take a look at it, tonight or.
Okay, that would be awesome. I need some, Michelle has been doing it for me. And I think she's even showed me how to do it, but it's one of those things I struggle with.
Okay.
So if you can show me again. Otherwise, Michelle will still keep doing it.
And then maybe we can break down the instructions.
It
for
was
that.
on a sticky note.
It was
I that sticky note.
Guess it wasn't super sticky.
Yes, it wasn't sticky enough. So, okay, long range plan.
Yes, we have, my committee, Amy and Aaron, we have the bones of a survey that Megan has started for us. And we'd like to get a survey together to go out to the community, just so for long range planning, we have an idea what the community wants. So if you will get together with the people in Leaf, we'll try to plan a date, we can take a look at that.
I watched the strategic planning thing, webinar thing this weekend, and it's really helpful, and then it emphasized doing in-person meetings over survey. Not that you shouldn't do a survey, but the
It was like interviews.
Yeah, or like not interviews, but like focus groups or open houses or things like the town did.
What have you done with that?
Still working on it, dealing with some of things together, but, we're not that far along, so. It's not something I feel like just- I will not, when we did the redesign for veterans, that was the first thing I did here. It insisted that there be some pickleball there, and I know that it's taken off here, the league ultimately is here. So I know that there is a lot of support around pickleball. So I think we're gonna keep trying to grow that at veterans as well, too, so 2 locations.
the strategic planning webinar thing that I watched really said that we should work with the town, with people that have already done surveys and work on things too, so that.
'Cause we do have the
we want to
information.
touch base. Yeah, and we collected a lot of information.
Is it correlated somehow? I mean, is it collated? That's the
Collated.
word.
Um,
Collated in any way.
I can see if they have anything that, if you guys need, I can send it over to you.
I'll stop.
Okay, yeah, because they've been working on it, and I think they have another meeting coming up soon. So they do.
I know that Erica at Sal's, who is the one who's leaving, and she's been kind of the spearhead of all libraries doing this. She highly recommends an interview type thing. And I was thinking about with your check out your library days, that might be a time when if somebody wanted to sit down with you or Sarah or myself.
Well, I think it's informative too, if we ever get people to come in that just haven't been using the library, that live here and just come, like talking to them about why they had it would be really informative too.
The other idea I had was with the computers, there was the ability to purchase a receipt printer. Like when you borrow a book from Crandall, you get that little sheet of paper that tells you the books you have out and the due dates. You can also kind of customize that to add a message to it. And what all the other libraries that are doing is the message basically says how much money you saved by borrowing that book. So they take and I was able to get this from Sal's, and it would be using the same principle, was how much money we saved last year. We were able to save our taxpayers, which was over $20,000 by offering the books that we had. And I did speak to because our new computers came in, so they have originally the receipt printers used to be huge. We just can't fit that on the desk, but now they're a decent size and they're less than $500. So it is something to consider at some point.
Can we get that through sales?
We would purchase it through sales.
So when we take out a book and you get that email at home, you would be getting this paper.
You'll still get your, it's just if you came in here, you checked out a book, I can hand you a receipt that tells you what books you have.
And when it's due.
And when it's due, and then also how much money you saved by borrowing them instead of buying them. And I think that's like, it puts us front and center in the community.
So the way that works is, are they pulling from your database as to how much you actually paid for that book? Is that where the number comes
Did
from?
not ask her how she got it. I asked her if there was a way for me to, if I could know how much we would have saved. So I don't know how they figured it out.
Polaris does capture the cost, the
Right, so
replacement value of
when
each
you
book.
key in a new book purchase, it tells you how much it costs, so.
Right.
I think there's a banner at the top.
It just came out.
It says set up something.
Oh, okay.
No, it's not.
Great. So, yeah, we'll look to, that probably would be good for you to listen to too, and you can count that toward your 2 hours and you can self-report that you listen to it as your education for the year. Right, I thought it was good, and that's how I realized, because I saw it live, and that's how I realized we needed to do a survey before you go.
Yeah, this is survey was important, but trying to get people together, however that happens, personal
That's hard.
and like putting together groups of people.
You've also got your seniors a coffee hour, you've got
Yes.
a captive audience.
There are,
We have game
there
night.
are times to target.
We would have game night, we can be talking to people that,
And the
book
fiber
club,
arts.
Fiber Arts, Big Book Club, they're all library users.
And then trying to find gatherings of groups that are not yet library users too. Community groups that
That's the
don't
problem.
actually.
How do you find them?
Well, I guess on that note, one thing, from the brewery standpoint, not necessarily from the town standpoint, from the brewery standpoint, if there's ever anything you guys need me to promote, I do a lot of that stuff in social media. So if you're having events, you send that to me. We did Bolton Land because we're trying to promote the town as well. So obviously the library is a big part of that. So you said that stuff to me, so you throw it on my story. So I think that one can decide.
Yeah, you have a really good marketing presence. Do you do all that yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot.
We could.
Library logger or something.
Well, we can do something like that, we've done stuff like that for weddings and stuff like that, we could do like a one-off library logger to help promote, if you guys are doing something in particular, that's kind of
Or we can all start
fundraiser.
meeting over there.
That's, but I like that plan too, so,
I've got a calculator we break down.
Sure, so I can wheel that in.
You could do it as a second book club, because I think you've done different things you've done.
Yeah, we've done different clubs and stuff, so whatever gets the word out for things that you guys want to have seen happen.
Great.
I think it's also a little bit different. My followers may not be the same, so you get the word out, I think that's also very
Yes.
helpful.
Yeah.
We'll all show up.
Easier.
Yeah, for sure.
Just hang out there.
Okay, so great job on the long range planning, the survey, that's coming along. So on to fundraising and PR. Maybe you want to just say a couple words about how Library Day went last month.
It was fun. I liked it. I had a great day. I don't think
Sarah and I had a good time too.
I don't think anybody came specifically for that. There was also the basketball game in Plattsburgh that day. I didn't have a lot of kids. So.
There was a family that was just up here for the weekend.
Yeah.
They were super excited.
There were 3 kids, and I guess they usually stop in the libraries, and they did the whole fun. They spent a lot of time here. It was kind of rainy out. My sister came with her kid.
So are we going to continue to do them for the next
Yeah.
first
Yeah, I know
Saturdays?
there's a
first
family
Saturdays.
in my son's class that they're planning to come. They couldn't make it that day because they had something that they're saying they're coming next week.
So if anybody's available to help or wants to stop by.
I mean, it was nice to
Come on
just
in
kind of
and-
hang out and talk to people.
Saturdays are normally, I think, I don't do a lot of Saturdays because I love having it off, but Sarah does.
It's pretty
And
quiet.
it can be quiet like first thing in the morning and then it does pick up. And then by 3 o'clock, it's done. Except for John Gaddy, who always has to come in 5 minutes before he goes.
Actually, by like 1:30, it's done.
So, I know that you both left, Mary, you left like about 3 that day and you left by 3:30. I don't know that you have to do it until 4, but having it available until 4 is great. I thought that it was really fun to see that many people Saturday morning hanging out.
Thank
I
you.
think that one couple that came in, they live in Lake George now, and they bought property in Boulder, they're planning to build on. And they seemed really excited to do the little scavenger hunt tour, because they were they were coming in to see the library, because they were going to live here.
So it was a great way for them to.
Yeah, to explore it. They did the whole scavenger hunt, found all the animals.
Drove her son crazy. He so wanted to tell people where it was.
The stuff
So
was
he
really
would-
hard to find.
He would kind of look at it, hoping they would see him looking at it.
So, great, thank you so much for doing that. I know you put a lot of work into it. It's a great job. Speaking of fundraisers, we're gonna do a pickleball tournament. Speaking of pickleball. So, we have the dates. I've already put the paperwork in through the township and we're signed off. It's going to be Saturday and Sunday, May 17th and 18th. And I have a letter put together to give out to the community to try to get maybe some sponsors and some maybe some prizes donated. And we want to do we'll do men's and women's events on Saturday. Sunday we'll do mixed doubles event followed by a picnic that we're just going to set up and do right down next to the courts there. So we're hoping maybe Tom's will donate hamburgers and hot dogs, and then we could get a lot of the friends that are part of the library friends to bring salads and stuff. And I think it'd be fun weekend. It's the weekend after Mother's Day and before Memorial Day, so it won't be too terribly crowded yet. So I think it's it's a way to kick off all the pickleball players coming back. So we'll do it a round robin format, so everybody gets to play the whole time, and yeah, I'm looking forward to putting the event together. So anybody that wants to help with it, probably,
Maybe that would be a good day to have the library locker.
yes.
See if I can get that.
I don't know, that would be a little, is that kind of short notice? I don't know how fast you can mix up a batch.
We'll see. Yeah,
Make sure that the alcohol and the pickleball are not at the same time.
Yes, yes.
It could be
Alright.
after, it could be
It could be
at
fun
the
for
picnic.
us.
Yeah.
That's for the picnic, so anyway,
Linda, I
we're
would love
yes.
to help with it, and
Yes.
I would go all over town and I'll knock on doors. So
okay,
get together,
that's great.
plan that out.
Yeah, if anybody else wants to help with that too, because she's gonna be gone
Until the day before.
until the day before, but she's here till mid-April, so she'll be able to do something.
Is that something that we could send out? We definitely can include the information in the newsletter. But we,
Yes,
Sarah has for other events, created a newsletter just for one thing.
yes,
And if you would like us to do that, we certainly can.
right, I have I'm working on a poster in Canva, and I'm
I saw
gonna be looking to Sarah to help me pull it together, cause it's on 2 pages and I can't figure out how to. So I'm trying to teach myself how to do it, but I'm gonna need some help, so.
You're looking for people to sign up for the trip, with the poster.
Well, we'll have a poster for people to sign up. That'll be easy, cause I'll just put it on the pickleball. We have chat rooms, and we have email lists and stuff like that. I won't have any problem finding, I don't think, a full contingent to sign up, except for that is the time of year where there's graduations and stuff like that, so. But, we'll probably have at least 8 people in each event, so I don't think we'll have any
Yeah,
problems.
pickleball people from here, on down to Florida, look, they could probably find that court.
Yes, I think so.
How much do you charge them?
Well, we're gonna do $20 for the first event. If they do both events, it's an additional 10. So we'd be getting about $30 per person, and we should have about, I'm thinking we'll make somewhere around $1,000. It's not gonna be a lot of money, but I'm hoping that we might be able to have someone there with the computer too, to teach people how to use Libby, because there's a lot of our community members don't know about, ordering books, how to, get them ordered ahead of time and use all the different, things that we have here. So it's also PR as much as it is making money. But I'm hoping we can make about $1,000. So I'll put together like a raffle. Pickle raffle. Yes, put that in there too. All right, so anything else with fundraising? If there's nothing else, we'll move on to buildings and grounds. Yes, striping the parking lot, that's what we can after them too.
Actually, Carla did say that she had to stop at the town hall for something and Ron was there. And she brought it up to him and he promised it will be done this spring.
Okay,
Let the ground thaw a bit first.
yes, I'm sure there's a lot of things. Moving the flagpole, we're gonna wait on that for now.
Because it came up at a meeting, it has to stay up.
Right, I understand, we're gonna table that. Another month. And the only other thing we have for this month, I believe, is we're looking for upholsterers. The 2 people that I called don't do it anymore. And Carla's calling a couple people to do our chairs in the back, because they're just about worn through. And she'll get back to me about those. It's hard to find upholsterers anymore.
Were you able to get a hold of Caleb Simpson?
No, but she knows him, so she was gonna call him. So
She did leave the rugs for you to look at.
yes, I need to look at samples, and Lyndon, if you
You can do
stay
it
after,
after the
we'll take
meeting.
a look at those. Yeah, so we'll take a look at those.
Came in late.
But I think that's all.
You didn't come down there.
Is there anything else with buildings and grounds? Just that we'll be starting to work on the flower bed and the side this spring.
Something simple, but it has been a bit of an issue. The latch to the store door, the front door is broken and it doesn't stay caught. And on windy days that we had, it was flying open. So at Chess, Chuck Cumming went and looked at it and he told Carla, who has contacted the door about it, to get it taken care of. Because mean, it actually could break the door, so the many cases happen.
Okay, that brings us down to the book sale. Anything new with that, Mary? Are we getting any more books?
So we were just telling Lynn we didn't have any, but we got like 6 boxes, 3 boxes and 3 bags yesterday. So a lot of kids' books, and so Sue was gonna put another note in, yeah, we got games.
Maybe that would be a good thing to get Brendan a note on that, because that he has such a big community. Books that, we're looking for. Can we forward him
Sure.
our graphic?
Yep, sure
book
can.
sale? For those of you out there doing spring cleaning,
But we don't want cookbooks.
yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Very on that committee. Way upstairs.
And
We
that's
just,
a
we
big
got
man,
some
big
boxes,
You know what?
I could show you, not a lot, yeah, so we'll get a lot more.
Let me know when you.
Okay, I will.
Anyways, Mary and I are doing.
Then if there's nothing else with the book sale, we'll start looking for signups for
Yeah.
dates and times with the Friends group too, coming up soon, but we got a couple months before that's important. So, and grants, pretty much covered the grants already.
I did. The only thing I didn't mention was that we did submit the $5,000 Sal's Construction Challenge grant, requesting the money to refinish the hardwood floor in the Adirondack Reading Room and cover the reupholstery I talked about.
Okay.
So that's been submitted.
Okay, great. All right, nothing new with personnel, except I have a couple, Megan's goals, we're gonna sign those and get them filed. And Sunshine Committee, do we have anybody in the community that we need to send thank yous to? Anything happened over the last month that we need to thank anybody for?
No, but you have to write a note for that donation that just came today.
Yeah, I got it. Got that. I'll put it in the mail. Okay. Well, we're gonna do Sarah, but we're not gonna do
Wait
her
till
until
she
she
actually
actually
does
retires. Okay. Okay. So I do need a motion to accept all the committee reports. Karen will make a motion, and if I could have a second, all those in favor say aye. Opposed, so moved. Okay, on to the unfinished business. I will actually be reaching out to the township, Brendan, about that, because we have a historical marker. Anapole, right?
Yes.
Anapole.
I already talked to her.
Oh, you did,
Yeah.
okay.
And I went to go give it to Ron was not there when I stopped by, I failed it here, so I'll
Okay.
bring it back.
Yeah, so I don't know if the township would do that, or if they want us to find somebody to do it, like my husband, or something.
I don't know, I
Yeah.
imagine they may want to do it, but if they don't,
Mhm.
you have someone else.
Okay.
So, but I will, I'll confront.
Because they would probably want to okay where we put it, just to make
Right.
sure it doesn't,
Yeah.
there might be a reason,
Like a water line?
like,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
that, for
Gotta
whatever
make
reason.
friends.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, and we could meet with a person, say where we like it, and we could say no, or you could give us options of where we could
Sure.
put it.
Okay,
Okay, so you told them what it says, a store.
that's very cool.
Yeah, okay. All right, so we're on to our requirements. We have to do the sexual harassment prevention training, and that's literally something you can have play on the computer.
I have a question.
Yes.
I drove Megan crazy today, and I finally got to where I needed to be, and it says it's for Warren County employees.
The town is allowing us to use it.
Okay, but what is this? Is this mandated by SALS? Is that why we do it?
It's mandated by the
Okay.
state.
Okay,
By the state,
I don't care, I just wanted to make sure I was doing the right thing.
Yes.
Okay.
And the state also mandates that we have 2 hours of continuing education.
Yes.
So last year everybody didn't get it done, so we do need to make sure, because we do send a report in at the end of the year to the state to tell them, how we've complied. So it is important that we get those things done. So if you have any questions about doing that, it's better than to do it now than waiting until December.
There are all
30th.
kinds of workshops out there. There are all kinds. But if you do the trustee handbook book club, those are specifically designed for libraries like ours. I mean, for all sizes, but they are super helpful and they cover multitude of subjects, like the long-range planning.
You could even listen to it in your car
Yeah.
on your way to somewhere, which I've actually put it on while I was driving somewhere.
If you watch it on your computer, you can actually get a certificate from that shows that you did the hour and a half, I think most of them are. If you can't get a certificate, I have a self-assurance certificate that I let people sign that says you did the program. So, but we're not sure how the state's gonna handle the fact that we had 2 trustees not finish. Because they haven't, I think all of the state reports had to be in by the end of March. So I don't know if they've looked at all of them yet. So at some point, we'll know if we're gonna be punished or not.
I don't know, punished, but I don't know.
There's a severe people.
Yes. I don't, but I don't wanna find out next year, so let's just do it. All right, so, seed library, you all know that we've started carrying seeds over there, so people can check out seeds to start flowers. So, if you have any friends that are into,
People are taking them.
good, glad to hear it.
We're hoping that it is something we can continue year to year. You know, being the master gardener that I am, I explain to people the only way I know is that we do want, you know, if you are able to collect seeds, you know, let something go to seed and then give some to us, we really appreciate it. That's the only way that this actually continues on.
Refeed it next year, right? Okay. Any questions, any new business or correspondence that you want to share with us?
There was no correspondence. I did have something I wanted to talk to you about. It's a really good thing, but I get a little emotional, so just be prepared.
Okay.
As some of you know, my brother-in-law died last month, and Roger was a huge. He just was I always say he was a Renaissance man because he was fascinated by. He was interested in so many things, and he had a very close group of friends that he had known for years, and they got together every June, and they would like to do something with us here in the library to honor Roger. And they were talking about $1,000 that they would like to give to the library, and then have a collection of books that would honor him. So after several conversations back and forth, I suggested that we focus on one thing that Roger loved more than, and not all the things he loved, and it would be Lake George. And this group has they all think it's wonderful. So, and it would be books and documents and all kinds, you know, anything that it would talk about the stewards of Lake George, basically, the people who maintain it and keep it safe. And so I am really excited about it. The friends would like each book to have a book plate that says why that it was given in his memory and his honor, and they would like to create that book plate themselves. They will be here at the beginning of June, that first week, and they are planning to have a meeting with my sister and myself and Sarah to talk about it, but they were all there.
Oh, great. Good. Good. Anything ongoing events there? We have the trivia night every Tuesday or every other?
As of April 1st, we're gonna go to every Tuesday.
You're going to, okay, every Tuesday. Yeah, our first month, we have a couple, May 1st and May 22nd, some invasive species, plants and animals program. Is that by the DEC that does that? It's gonna do that.
I think it is.
DEC. Okay, and,
Oh, and we're still hosting chess.
Redoing that one that didn't give me the information. Cause I heard that was very good.
Yes, I just need to get back in touch with them.
the bird collisions, are we also gonna do that in May? We have 2 already in May.
I'm gonna talk to John. I just haven't had the chance. He's on my to-do list.
That could be, maybe be June, yes. Everything going well with the Bolton after school program?
Mary and I are having so much fun.
Okay,
Last week we did St. Patrick's Day. So for President's Day, Mary had these little instructions so that they could draw like step at a time of the president. and the kids really liked that, and we made that. Last week we did St. Patrick's Day and made leprechaun traps.
Ooh, kitchen.
Well, we left it, so teachers said we could leave them set up. They all did that one with the box and the stick and had Werthers, which look a little like gold coins. So that they were and the teachers were going to, snap the traps and then tell the kids how to let it cut, which is fun.
They all want to make trap doors.
They were concerned that there wasn't enough stuff to build with. But like, I can give you boxes, but you guys have to use your imagination how you're going to do this. So they used straws, and there were some popsicle sticks there, and they really did. The kids had a really good time. So it was been a lot of fun. This week we're doing
Are they
spring.
coming here again, or?
I think Bambi wants to wait a little bit longer.
Okay.
But this week we're doing spring and we're making flowers. Mary has all of this stuff from being a teacher for 35 years.
It's using now.
It's awesome.
Use it again.
I hope they come here again soon, because I love it when they come here. So, all right, is there anything else anybody has, any additional comments or anything like that?
I did have one more thing.
Oh, sure.
Sarah and I talked about the hours for summer, which is not going to start for a while, but we really like having our late evening to be Tuesday. And so we were hoping to, instead of having it on Monday, as we've done in the past couple of years, we're hoping to have that. We would like to have it, the evenings were open would be Tuesday, Thursday.
And then you're opening Monday during the day.
We would only, so it's going to be the same amount of hours. It just, I think that Mondays maybe people are still settling in for their vacation, and so both really like the Tuesday night.
Okay. I don't see any reason why not. That works for you guys.
I think we both do feel that way. When she and I were first talking about it, when we were brainstorming, she gave me all of these reasons why it's perfect. It's really good to do it on Tuesday. So I said to her, "Remember what you said, so you can tell them." But I think I covered it.
It's okay.
Yes.
Right, and we usually start this beginning of May or June?
The end of June. I think it's.
Oh, that's after the kids get out of school.
Yes.
Okay.
But it's helpful to get it on the agenda and approve it,
Yes.
so you can get your
So
sign.
we will.
Publicizing.
It'll be on the agenda for next month, and we'll definitely have it for. Does mean that Sarah has to change all of the bookmarks. Okay. She's really good at it. But I think that's it.
Okay, so if I could have a motion it's 7:22. Wait, oh, we have something else, good.
I went to the town board.
Oh, we forgot the town board
And,
meeting. Yes.
What I found out, I just said a little bit about maybe some stats, and said I was new, I wanted to go introduce myself, introduce myself to Brandon. But I noticed that nothing was in the minutes for the library, and I was wondering, do you think like 5 bullet points every month that we could get to you would be a good
I think
idea?
that'd be great, yeah. Yeah, things that you want me to speak specifically about,
Yeah, like
upcoming events or events that you had and how well they were attended, or just things of that nature, things that you, I get the reports from water and from sewer.
Okay, yeah, I saw
But yeah,
that.
put it at the museum if they ever have anything. So, if you guys.
Yeah, I think we've been sending them to you, but you're not getting them?
I don't know if I have it yet.
Actually, what we're gonna do now, and I spoke to Brendan earlier, is I'm sending it to Kate Persons.
Okay,
Then prints it out to make sure that you get it.
okay, perfect, all right, I'll take a look now and make sure that.
Okay,
No,
And
we were
make sure we have
intending to
your updated, I'm sorry, make sure we have your updated email address, because I see you listed in our list, but I
I have
just don't
seen some
know.
things I haven't seen,
Okay.
but I'll check to make sure I'm getting all of it.
Okay. That's very good.
Yeah, I know we've got an assigned person to go every month, but I don't think it's necessary.
What do you think? Do you think we should have somebody come every month, or do you?
I would say every month, if you see there's something coming up that is of interest, for sure.
Like an event that we want to make sure. we
Yeah.
attend to.
Yeah.
I don't think every month is necessary because it was funny because Rob got over as soon as I walked in, he said, "Why are you here?" And I told him, and I'll put you in first so you don't have to stay.
Yeah, it can be helpful if, you know, whoever from the library wants to go, but I don't think it's a requirement.
Okay.
So, but it's, however you guys feel. It doesn't.
I do have one more question. Do we need to do go through the zoning to put the sign up? Is there something, or zoning or something?
That should not qualify under the new, this year we adjusted the zoning laws.
Okay.
That it shouldn't matter.
Okay.
Because we were running into the language on the zoning laws were very vague. So we didn't know if like so, but now I think that should be fine. But again, I'm gonna bring it to Ron.
Okay.
And then Ron will either say it has to go or it doesn't.
Okay.
I would be surprised if it did.
But at one point, there was a streetscape plan for the town.
It's the street school.
Yeah, it was where the light poles went, where the
Right.
trees went, and
Right.
that kind of thing. At one point, there was a plan for what they wanted. Because actually, if you look at it, that is a very crowded corner.
It
You
is.
can't see anything right out here at the end of the driveway.
So
There's
like bushes.
Yeah.
It's not even the bushes, there's too many signs.
Yeah, and especially because the park is here, so people post, you know.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of noise, I guess, but you know, so things may have a hard time sticking out.
Visual noise.
Yeah, and I feel like I haven't really spent too much time with it, so I apologize, but the closer on this side may work better by the ramp, not by the ramp, but in that corner. I don't know. I'm not sure if you get the museum right there too, so it's sort of cool. I don't want it to get lost in the museum. I want it to.
There's a sign, there's a old signpost out there that should get removed because it was the post that held up the sign for the historical society. And technically it's on town property, but I talked to Glenn at the museum and he said, I don't need it because they've got that other sign. So it would be great if that got removed. Maybe.
They put that.
Yeah, because then it's kind of killing two birds with one
Right.
stone.
Yeah, because it's in the way and it's
Okay,
not doing,
I'll,
it has no purpose at this point.
Yeah.
Shelley, you saying that the shrubs up here are in the way? Because I don't.
No, I just, if you like pay attention, look at the signage there.
It's actually, if you drive through town, I did count one time.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff going on the street.
Yeah.
And then when we talked about moving the flagpole, that was one of the things that Michelle and I talked about was that he is busy with stuff. And so our flag is kind of lost and all this stuff. So that would be one really good reason to.
Yeah.
You adjourn?
I was,
Absolutely.
I was at, yeah, she stopped the adjournment. Was there anything else that?
Oh, gee. I just got
Well,
one
we know
guy.
she just got there.
Yeah.
I don't think Canada does the time changes.
We're,
Could I
oh,
get a
daylight
motion
savings.
I said yes.
To,
I made the motion.
okay, so we'll make the motion. Could I have a second?
I'll second.
Aaron's gonna second. All in favor, say aye. Opposed?
Janie, we were
Wow,
leaving,
we
we're
got
done.
in an hour. Good job, everybody.
Are you there?
My pleasure.
She's frozen.
Yes.
Yeah, of course. And we'll make sure now on.
Janie, you're frozen.
So,
I'll show Megan.
yeah, perfect. Okay. All right, sounds good. Take care, everyone.
Okay, see you. So,
Yes.
This is what their department and all those look like. What's here? What is it? So that's Brendan. This is as much as they need, just bullet points.
Yes. Yeah. She's gone.
I bet that's it. I don't think Canada does the daylight savings.